Hey kids and families, it's Mr. Duke again. Thanks so much for joining us. This week has been a crazy week. I mean, it's been fun, but for us as a family, it has been hectic. It's been crazy. There's been so many things going on. We've been getting ready for trick-or-treating. We've had to go out of town to visit family. Whew! It's just been like all the stuff all the time. Really, really busy. Sometimes it's just really good to sort of take a moment, take a break, just be in the moment, just to enjoy those things that, are just happening right now, and don't get too caught up in all the things we have to do. So, hey Francesco. Hey Francesco, what are you doing? Hey Francesco.
I gotta get my Halloween costume. I gotta get so much homework. I'm all nervous. I'm all
You seem so
worried.
frantic. You seem so frantic. That's what I'm talking about. The time that you have, you're supposed to really enjoy it and have fun. Hey, why don't we take a break and just sit down, and I'd love to share a little story with you. How's that sound?
Okay, I'm coming.
All right, sit down here with me, and we're going to take a break, and maybe you guys will enjoy the story too. Hey, Francesco. This weekend, we got to see a really cool place.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was in Louisville, Kentucky. Do you know where Louisville, Kentucky is?
No.
Okay.
In the South?
Yeah, it's in a state called state of Kentucky, and it's a town called Louisville. It's a city in Kentucky called Louisville, and at that place, there's a factory where they make baseball bats.
Oh.
Do you like baseball?
Yeah, I do.
I see that you've got your Pittsburgh Pirates hat on. Well, we went to this factory where they make baseball bats. And actually, I got this from the Louisville Slugger Museum. Do you know what a Louisville Slugger is?
No.
Well, a Louisville Slugger is actually the name of a baseball bat that goes back a long time, all the way back when there were baseball players and actually when TV was in black and white.
Woo.
Have you ever heard of a baseball player named Babe Ruth?
Yeah.
So Babe Ruth was a guy who was a famous baseball player, and he was a great hitter, and he was one of many, many baseball players who used a baseball bat called the Louisville Slugger. And so they talked about those stories. Isn't that cool?
That's cool. That's perfect for my size.
Well, and yes, so you actually could use this to play with, and this is a little memento that they gave us for going to the museum. So, do you know what this week is?
Halloween!
It is Halloween, and it's actually the start of a really important baseball game. Have you ever heard of the World Series?
Yeah, I wish the Pittsburgh Pirates were in the World Series.
Yeah, well, the Pirates are unfortunately not in the World Series, but there's two other teams that are in it. One of the teams is called the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the other team are the Boston Red Sox, and they're going to play a series called the World Series to find out who's the champion team of the year. They would be the world champions. Ooh, you lost your hat there. You got so excited there, Francesco. You lost your hat. So what I did was I actually wrote a story about baseball. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. So here it goes. So here's the story of actually a baseball. Can you imagine that? All right. So you just sit back, Francesco, and you just relax. I know you've been running around ragged trying to get ready for trick-or-treat. I'm really glad you're excited for trick-or-treat, but why don't we just sit down, relax, and you just enjoy the story, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Sam walks away from the baseball field after his team, the Big City Bruisers, devastatingly lost 11-0 to the team's arch rivals, the small town smashers. With his shoulders slumped, he flops down on the bench.
Oh.
His friend Sally, who watched the game from the stands to support Sam and his team, comes over to check on Sam. Sally says, "Boy, that was one tough loss." Sam replies, "Yeah, that was the worst game I've ever played. I can't believe I gave up 8 home runs." Francesco, can you imagine giving up 8 home runs?
No, that'd be a bad day.
But Sally says, "Sam, you are a really good pitcher. Even the best pitchers have bad games." "Well, I can't think of a professional pitcher who gave up 8 home runs, can you?" "Have you ever heard the story about Spitball Rawlings?" "Who's that? I never heard of that baseball player." "You wouldn't, because he's not a baseball player." "What? Who is he?" "He's not a baseball player because he's a baseball." "That sounds crazy." "Well, you better listen closely then."
Not as crazy as a balloon.
That's a good one, Francesco. I think you need to hear this. Spitball Rawlings grew up in a small town. Not the same small town your team just got crushed by, Sam. This is another small town. The funny thing is that Spitball didn't remember any of his childhood. He didn't remember who his mom and dad were. He didn't remember going to school, nothing. His earliest memory is being on the baseball field. The dirt, the smell of leather gloves, the sound of the crack of a bat. He also doesn't know how he got his name. Way back in his earliest memory, he recalls a distant voice saying, "Hey, throw the spitball!" Right after, he remembers moving so fast that everything around him, the trees, the kids, the fence, all become blurry. From then on, he goes by the name Spitball. Oh, and his last name was found out because it was printed on his back, Rawlings. Spitball had a fantastic baseball career. He went from T-ball to Little League to high school and all the way to the majors. His baseball skills grew and grew. He mastered the fastball, the changeup, the curveball, and the slider. But the ultimate tool in his toolbox remained the spitball. When he needed an out at a crucial time, he remembered that time when he was young. "Hey, throw the spitball!" And Spitball would get the batter out every time. Spitball's team won almost every game. They moved through the playoffs with ease. They made it to the championship game. In the championship game, it gets really tense, Francesco. The score was tied, 5-5.
Oh.
It was the bottom of the 9th inning. Bases were loaded, and there were 2 outs. It was now up to Spitball to get the last out to win the championship. Spitball went for the fastball. Strike 1. Spitball went to the curveball. Strike 2. That was it. One more strike and his team wins the championship. You know what pitch he's going to go to, right, Francesco?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What pitch?
A spitball.
The spitball, that's right. Spitball looks intently at the catcher. All of a sudden, his mind is flooded with fear and doubt. His eyes start glancing at the huge crowd. They're all staring at him. He takes a look at the batter. The batter looks so determined. Sweat starts rolling down his face. What if I can't do it? I will be such a failure if they score. Maybe I don't belong here. This doesn't feel right. Spitball winds up. He streaks towards home plate. The batter swings and...
What happens? What happens?
Sally says to Sam, Because Sam says the same thing. What happened? What happened to Spitball? Sally says, why does it matter? Sam says, of course it matters! Spitball's whole baseball career is on the line. Sally says, really? Do you think Spitball's whole legacy and career is going to be affected by that one pitch? Sam says, yes, it's a championship game! Sally, so you think that whether he's a good baseball player or not depends on that one pitch? Is that right? Sam says, well, he may be a good player, but in order to be one of the great ones, you have to win championships. And here's what Sally tells Sam, Francesco. Spitball is already a great baseball player. And if he just focused on doing each pitch well, no matter what the situation, he has nothing to worry about. His greatness lies within him. The outside circumstances don't matter. He has always been and will be great if he just focuses on one pitch at a time. Did you like that story, Francesco?
Yeah.
What do you think the meaning of that story is?
Not to worry about everything.
Yeah, sometimes if you worry about everything, it just gets so overwhelming. If you just do one thing at a time, like Spitball, one pitch at a time, I think you'll be great. So I know you're worried about trick-or-treating. Why don't you just worry about one thing at a time and doing that well, and then see what happens. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening to me, Francesco. I really appreciate it. It was great to share that story with you.
Yeah. And you know what?
What?
We got some awesome friends who gave me ideas of what to be for Halloween.
Oh, that's great, Francesco. So yeah, maybe just focus again. Don't think about all the things that go into it. Just think about one thing at a time.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. Are you ready to see my costume?
I'd love to see your costume, Francesco.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay. So we had some great suggestions for Francesco this trick-or-treating season. One of our friends, Cora, suggested that Francesco be an ice cream cone. So he got his costume on, and check this out. Whoa, that is cool, Francesco. That is cool. I love the sprinkles, and I love the whipped cream on the top.
A little more whipped cream. A little more.
Oh man, not too much. Not too much, Francesco.
Woo! My friend Tracy said I could be a ghost. My friend Kate said I could be Mickey Mouse. No matter what you're gonna be, have fun this Halloween. We'll see you next week. Happy Friday, everybody. Special shout out to our Cubs fans up in Chicago where we used to live. Our Fun Family Challenge relates to our story this week and the holiday that's coming up. So as you're collecting that candy, or like us, we're going out and buying some, maybe on the drive there, talk a little bit about your favorite candy or guess what you think your mom or dad's favorite candy might be. And mine is actually a Tootsie Roll. Oh, here's one. And then share maybe a story of growing up, why it was your favorite candy. I know my grandpa always had these like honey candies, the really like square ones that really hurt your teeth. Moms or dads, you might know what I'm talking about. It's a great way to talk about memories and share some family stories. And we hope you have some fun this weekend. Remember, here at Funfara, we pray for you every day as families, and we're here for you. So if you ever have any prayer requests or topics that you'd love for us to create some original content around, please send us an email and be on the lookout, because next week we actually have a new Alexa skill game that we're going to be publishing. So I'll be sharing that next week. Love to y'all. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.